Hi, I'm Amanda Skelton, an independent stamping up demonstrator, and today I'd like to show you how to make this card. So the technique that I was trying to show with this is how to make this sort of fake sort of linen effect with tissue paper and stamping. So that's what we're going to be going to do. Excuse me, that's what we're going to be doing today. These cards I did with the Bottled Happiness stamp set, so I used these two and the fern. I'm going to use a slightly different pattern this time, just to shake it up a bit. I'm going to use the Nature's Print, so I'm going to use the flower and the, again, sort of like the sprig for this card. Excuse me. So that's what I'm going to use today. So what do you need? Okay, so fairly simple. So you want half a piece of A4 card. Now, as you can see here, I've done very vanilla and basic whites. It's up to you. I think sometimes, like, depends what colourway you're going to use. If you want it to be nice and bright, then use the white. If you want it to be sort of muted colours and more sort of subtle, then the cream looks really nice as well. So it's entirely up to you, but I'm going to use white today. So half a piece of A4, scored in half. And then you want a piece of white card. So this is going to basically be the base for your front panel. And that wants to measure 3 7/8 of an inch across and 5 6/8 of an inch down. And basically it's just going to be a little bit smaller than the card base, so that you've just got a bit of a frame around it here. So it just needs to be a bit smaller than that. And then you want a piece of tissue paper. So this is what we're going to use. It needs to be bigger than your front card panel. So I'd suggest about 5 inches by about 7 1/4 inches. And then a piece of ribbon. So as you can see here, you just want a piece of ribbon that you can tie a little knot in, and it can go underneath this panel. Okay, so that's what we have. Okay, so what you want to start with is your tissue paper. And as I said, I'm going to use the Nature's Prints stamps. And you definitely want to be putting something underneath, because you're going to be stamping off the edges, because you want it to look nice and continuous. And I think I'm going to do the, I would say do the bigger image first. So I'm using Parakeet Party, which is the same colour that matches this this lovely ribbon, which is seam binding ribbon. So I'm going to use the same colour as that for the leaves, and then I'm going to use Orchid Oasis for the flower. So I would say use the bigger image first, and you just want to basically stamp it randomly. You want to leave gaps for your flowers. So you just want to randomly put pieces on like this. Go all the way to the edges. Okay. You can see how this ribbon is going to go nicely with that. And then I'm going to use the Orchid Oasis for my flower. This is such a really pretty flower as well, this stamp. And there's no reason why you can't put lots of different on here. Hopefully we can get. So remember, you're not going to be able to see quite the edges, because you're going to be wrapped around the backing card. But you do want to make sure you've got lots of detail. If I can do that way. Oh, that's not gone very well. And then that one there, and then do one here. I'll do one over here as well, I think. I'll just do a piece coming in here, and one there, just gaps. Okay, so I just want to be quite balanced with the two different colours I'm using there. So I've got quite a lot of the blue And again, you can see then when you put it on top of this, it sort of gives it a really nice background to put in. Okay, so what you want to do then, it should be dry quite quickly. What you want to do then is just gently scrunch it into a ball. And that's what's going to give it the linen look. And then just gently prise it back open. Scrunch it a bit more actually. The tighter you scrunch it, the more smaller sort of creases you get on it. Probably looks a little bit more authentic then. Yeah, that's better. You just want to gently tease it back open. Just be gentle, it can be quite delicate. And it doesn't matter if it's got some of the creases in it still, that's what you want to have. Okay, now sometimes it can be quite difficult to see which is the front and which is the back, which you actually stamped or not. Doesn't look an awful lot of difference in this because it does go through the, as you can see here, it does go through the tissue. If it looks obvious, then obviously you want to use the stronger colour side for your image. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn that over, and what we're going to do now is add, I'm going to use like a little sponge. What we're going to do is we're going to add some glue to here, and then we're going to place this on, and then that's going to adhere it to this base card. Okay, so I just added some on here like this, and then what you want to do is just do that just to make it even. You don't want great big blobs everywhere. Oh, see my cat's been on here. So just dab around, get to the edges, and you will get very sticky with this, I will assure you. I think I want a little bit more there, a bit there, a bit there. Okay, that should be enough. Now be careful, if you've got it on your fingers, it will most definitely, oh, there you go, it's stuck already. Be very careful when you're offering it to your card. Just about got edge up there. And it doesn't matter if it creases when you push it down, just go from the middle, push it outwards. This is what I'm going to stick to the base now. Okay, so I just want to do that, get it all nice and pushed on. Okay, and then I'm just going to turn this over because this is going to be sticky. And then what I'm going to do is, again, my fingers are sticky, so again, just be careful with this. Oh God. And then I'm just going to put a little bit around the edges. And this will just be to stick the edges down. So you just want to, again, push those. If you want to, you can cut a bit of the corners off. It just gets rid of some of the bulk when you're folding the corners in. I'll show you the difference between that side and that side in a minute, which will show you why you'd do that. Again, just push in from the sides, preferably with a finger that isn't sticky. Okay, so can you see how much bulk there is this side? Look, it's just really bulky. So I'm just going to take a piece off of there. And you can see how bulky this is compared to here. It just takes off that. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue there. And I'm just going to fold that under because I don't want it peeping out the sides. And the same here. I'm just going to bulge it so that it doesn't come outwards. And the same here. Okay, you can turn it over and you can just check that it's not pushing out at all. Okay, so that's that piece done. Okay, please do go and wash your hands if you need to. I know that my fingers are really, really sticky, so I'm going to have to be very careful when I'm touching this now. Okay, so decide which you want to be the up way. I don't think it really matters on this one. Okay, and then I'm just going to put a knot in the middle. You could do a bow if you want to, but I'm going to do a knot on this one just to show a different, slightly different way. You want to get it roughly in the middle, just so that you've got enough to go either side. And then what I'm going to do is probably want it about that high up, so I'm going to just hold there. So I know I want it to be about there, and I'm just putting some double-sided sticky tape there. I'm going to turn it back around again, line up where I want the bow, the ribbon, so I think it's about there, and then that's already sticky on the back, so I can just use that, and I can just tuck it around so I know that it's right from the front and it's just taped at the back there. Okay, and then all we need to do, and again I'm using double-sided sticky tape here, be careful because it can rip off the tissue paper, but go gentle with it and you'll be okay. So I'm just adding in double-sided tape. I'm just going to do a bit here as well, and then I'm just going to add it on to our card base here. Okay, so there we have it, this nice linen look. It's just, you know, it just adds another dimension, doesn't it? It's really nice and lovely with flowers especially, but it doesn't have to be, it could be with anything you want to really, but there you can see that. So you can see that compared to these, a lot brighter. As you can see, that looks a lot better with the white cardstock, that the brighter colours look better. Hope you've enjoyed that. As always, you can find the details and the products at www.amandascraftedcards.stampinup.net, or you can leave a message on the YouTube video. Hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully you can use that for lots of different projects. You could use that for tags, you could use it for covering different projects, a little bit like decoupage, but you can use whatever paper you want. What I did think about is if you've got a really nice patterned DSP paper, you could put that as your background, and you could put this, you could use this same technique of tissue paper, you could put that on top of the DSP then, and that would give you a similar look. So you could change an already really pretty DSP into a linen look. So that's another little tip for you there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.